Inshallah, we'll start. Okay. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, brothers and sisters, welcome to the seminar. This is a second seminar, and it's a series of lectures and seminars that we're prepared for you. This is just to prepare you mentally and spiritually to get you into the zone for Hajj. We have a learning portal which is you can access through our website hunafa.com. In the learning portal, you'll have everything you need to know about Hajj, A to Z about Hajj, and it is broken down into bite-sized courses. So you can access at any time, anywhere around the world. So that's hunafa.com and the learning portal. Now, this seminar is open for everybody, so we've advertised it widely. So if you are going on Hajj with us on a particular package, especially the package that you've booked with us, if you can refrain from asking any logistical questions, because purely the reason being is that it will confuse other people who are also on a different package. So if you are going on a package, you are on the WhatsApp group. If you have any particular question, please ask on the WhatsApp group and we'll be happy to respond to your answers. And if you can specifically ask the questions relating to this particular lecture. The other thing to say is, if you haven't booked your hadi, the qurbani, then please do so. Purely because if you do it with us, it makes life a lot easier, because when the time comes for us to announce for you to come out from ihram and for us to tell you that your qurbani has been done, if you do it with us, it makes it a lot easier. We'll be able to tell you there and then. If you've done it with nusuk, it's not a problem. They will notify you, but it might be, I'm not 100% sure, that they will not obviously notify you through text messages, but it might be through email, and it could take some time. But again, I'm not 100% sure how that will work. But if you did it with us, we could tell you as soon as it's been done. So please take that as a priority and make sure that your hadi has been sorted out. So inshallah, without any further ado, I will go into our seminar today. So today we have Sheikh Farid with us. Alhamdulillah, so we're very fortunate to have Sheikh Farid with us. He graduated on electronic systems engineering from University of Essex. So after graduation, the Sheikh spent some time in the Medina University, where he studied Arabic language and other religious sciences. Upon his return from Medina, he's been involved in Islamic Dawah, particularly if you know of MRDF. The Sheikh is very heavily involved with that organization. He has taught Arabic language and Islamic studies, and he's also translated Arabic books into English, particularly the famous dua book that everybody's aware of, Hisnul Muslim, the little black book for fortification of Muslim through remembrance and supplication. That's the book that the Sheikh has translated, and he's currently serves as an Islamic Studies lecturer and head of department. So if I can hand it over to Sheikh Farid, the floor is yours, Sheikh.
جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Before we start, I do have some slides. They're quite basic. They're not necessary, but I can't share them. The host is disabled. So not sure if we will use them depending on the interaction with our brothers and sisters here. But maybe if we could allow the access. Is that possible?
I've just made you a host, Sheikh, so you should be able to
Okay.
present the slides.
Okay. Let me know.
Should be able to do it now, yeah.
If you can see them.
Yep, we can see them.
The whole slide as it is, yeah.
All slides it is. Yeah.
Okay, so brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, hope you're all well, inshallah. I don't have my usual setup, which is a number of screens, and I can, sort of dedicate different areas for seeing the participation and so on and Q&A. So I do need yourself or Abul Hussein to just notify me if there's any Q&A coming in via text, because I prefer that the discussion is live and relevant. There's always something I would like to say, a person would like to speak about, but if it doesn't resonate or it doesn't connect with the actual thoughts and topic discussions you want to discuss, then it won't be as helpful. Obviously, alhamdulillah, it's the title has been given to which is Tarbiyah lessons, which really is the educational imani lessons we can take from Hajj. And there's so much, obviously, to discuss with regard to Hajj. But before that, is it possible just to get an idea, um, just hands up, maybe those who have, hands up, those who are first time they're doing Hajj. I don't know if they have that feature. They can, be a good idea just to see what it looks like. Yeah, hands up for those who first time they're doing Hajj. Okay, okay. So they're coming through. Obviously, I'm expecting a fair amount. Okay, good, good. Brothers and sisters, I do want interaction as well. So, are they able to speak if I ask them to speak? Will they be able to do that? Yeah. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, we are able to speak, I think.
Oh, excellent. Jazakallah. Jazakallah.
Yes, sir. Participants can speak. They just have to unmute.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, okay, that's good. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, that's good. Let's begin then, inshallah. So, maybe before we begin with this, just want to speak about something which I think is important, and that is, if I were to conduct a poll, right? If we had done this, and you had to choose between two options, right? Are you more excited, yeah, to go for Hajj, or are you more anxious, right? I think it's a very important question, and the reason why is because of the, maybe 20 years or so of experience of going on Hajj. Actually, it's probably 30 years now. And taking people for Hajj and being with them, you know, the anxiety peaks prior to going on Hajj, and it stays with some people during Hajj as well. What you notice over time is it can hamper the experience. So I just wanted to mention that, right? And the key point I wanted to mention is you're going to Allah's house. This is one of the arkan of Islam. Okay. Don't think it's easy for you to spoil your Hajj. Yeah. That you'll somehow, do something and your Hajj, yeah, won't mean much. This is not our deen. This isn't Allah Jalala. This is not His Sharia. Okay. You're doing one of the most incredible activities you could ever do in your life. Right. And it's so holistic in terms of the lessons it contains, the benefits that are inherent in this major activity. The idea that Allah is waiting and to pounce on you if you get something wrong, or you can easily invalidate your Hajj. This is not an Islamic teaching. Okay, something that Shaitan wants to busy the believer with, preoccupy them. Okay. Yes, we need to understand the fiqh of Hajj. We need to understand the rituals and have an awareness of what to do, what not to do. But it should come to a level whereby once you have a basic understanding, you focus on the higher matters. You focus on the reality of what Hajj is about, what it's trying to achieve, what it means for you. Otherwise, you will actually, go and come back and have that anxiety, yeah, with you that like I said, disturbs, yeah, how well you can benefit and actually perform in the Hajj itself. Yeah, I don't mean rid yourself of anxiety. Nobody can. But, there's a difference between a healthy type of anxiety and a detrimental one. Yeah. So the healthy one is checked, right? It's connected to those states of the heart that you can't avoid. Yeah. Every minor and major activity you do for Allah has to have an element of fear and dread, because you fear falling short, you fear something being rejected, yeah, and so on. But that comes, balanced with its counterpart, which is a raja, hope in Allah's mercy and His forgiveness, and and His joy that the slave is doing something that He wants him to do. He's answering the call, right? So there's a balance there. Yeah, there's a balance there. So it's very, very important that and the reason why I say is because it manifests itself in different ways, right? People either feel unworthy, okay, and that's problematic because the Sharia does not promote that. It doesn't actually look upon that in a positive way, yeah, because the reason why is that what the underlying meaning is. If a person feels that they're unworthy, then what are you saying about your Lord? So Allah said that His rahmah wasi'at kulla shay. It extends over everything. So how is it you depicted your Lord to place yourself beyond His mercy and His rahmah? Yeah. So that's problematic, and that's definitely a strategy of Iblis and Shaitan. Yeah? The issue of despair, the issue of feeling in that way. This is one of the key things he wants to achieve, because a person feels like that, thinks like that, then khalas, they imprison themselves. They themselves, chain themselves in that way, and they no longer think about their welfare because they give up. That's what the Shaitan wants. So it's very important. And, the way it manifests again, that's on an imani kind of belief sense. It manifests itself in Hajj through a fiqhi way as well. And there's no end to the constant, continuous questions about, is this perfumed? Sheikh, I cut my nail. Sheikh, a piece of hair fell off. And issue about the shoes. There's a limit for these things. But to be fixated on those things throughout the days of Hajj, then you're not focusing in the right way. It's not asking you to go there and fixate, yeah, on whether that piece of hair fell out and do you have to pay a fine for it. It's not Hajj. It's not the objectives of Hajj. Yeah. Understand those rules, and they're basic and they're easy. They're not difficult. Allah didn't do them to put you in that kind of difficulty. Yeah. He regulated those rulings for you to make ta'zeem of Him. Yeah? Exalt Him, exalt this activity, exalt the state of ihram, right? Exalt the idea of approaching the house in a certain mode. Do something that you become obsessed over continuously. Subhanallah, if a person doesn't get this, then the whole time becomes just on this, because I've seen, someone, you speak to them about their nails and their hair, and then they go away. And they come back tomorrow with the same question. And then the next day, the same question. Right? Problematic. And some of that is not your fault. Some of that is the way we are taught and brought up. Yeah? There's no balance between, how you're supposed to look at the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Right? We have extremes. Right? We have those obsessed with the letter and they forget the high objectives. And that's how they look. But then you get those who think that they are trying to establish the spirit, but are heedless and don't give any regard to its letter. Allah Jalla revealed both a law, a letter, and a spirit, and a spirit. And part and parcel of exalting Him is to exalt both. So the believer strikes the balance in that. Anyhow, let's move on. So this was just a basic slide you had here in front of you. By the way, I do want yourselves to interject and speak. I prefer that. I'll share these slides with you, specifically this slide I want to share with you as part of the prep. Okay. The ayat on Hajj, they number around 70. And they're split across a number of surahs, yeah, about 17 or so surahs, yeah. 7 of them are Madani surahs post-Hijrah, and 10 are prior to Hijrah. Although the bulk of the ayat are Madani, because Hajj was legislated as an actual rite with rituals, yeah, in Medina. And the ayat that are revealed in Makkah, they're to do with Hajj as the symbol, because remember, it's a mill of Ibrahim. So the Makkans are aware of it, and the Kaaba is there. So there's a lot to do about the symbols of Hajj in the Makkan ayat, right? Whereas in the Madini ayat, it's more to do with some, with the rules and regulations. So, and I put in bold here a couple of those passages, some extensive ones. One is in Surah Al-Baqarah, 196 to 203, and the other one is in Surah Al-Hajj, 26 to 37, Surah number 22. You should try and look at many of these passages, but definitely those two. They're very rich. One of the key points I guess I could mention in this session is that it's seamless. Yeah, the Islam of the Hajj and the Iman of the Hajj and the Ihsan of the Hajj. Yeah, the technical realities of the Hajj, the Imani, the realities of the Hajj. Yeah, and the quality of how you deliver the Hajj, the spiritual sides. If you read the ayat, they're just seamless. They weave in and out. Yeah? It goes from speaking about something technical to the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Speaking about a particular activity to dhikr of Allah and dua and getting closer to Him. Speaking about sacrificing animals and the ta'zeem of the heart. Yeah, making ta'zeem of Allah's symbols, how it's an indicator of the taqwa of the heart. And this is the deen. Yeah? The deen is not sectioned in this way where you can have, a spiritual side to you, but your morals and your behaviors of others are wanting, right? Or you have good character with others, but with Allah Jalala, you're not obedient. Yeah? This is something that doesn't exist in our deen. Yeah, you can have this separation. So I want you to reflect on that as well. And when you look at those ayat, it will become very clear to you. Yeah, and generally try and read, reflect on the Quran and the Deen in this way. Yeah? Think about one of the very early surahs that are revealed, Surah Al-Ma'un. Allah Jalla says, "Ara'ayta alladhi yukadhibu bid-din." Do you see the one who denies the Deen, rejects it? Now here you'd think speaking about some major matters to do with creed. But just listen to the ayat that come after it. What's the answer? Who is the one who makes takdhib of the deen? أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ. He's the one who repels the orphan. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. And doesn't encourage the feeding of the poor. So you see how seamless it is. It's very holistic and very comprehensive. Yeah? For those two ayat to be the very first answers to the description of one who denies the deen and rejects the religion. Yeah. So subhanAllah, it's a huge lesson. And if you go with that mindset, it'll be very beneficial for you. Okay. And you see that again in this ayat, as I mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah 196 and so on. The prohibition is of different types. To dispute, to be involved in matters that are immoral and so on, with other types of regulations. They're very comprehensive. And also, besides the numerous hadith on the rituals, something you may like to read is what is known as the hadith of Jabir. The hadith of Jabir radiallahu anhu is one of the most lengthiest hadith narrated, as a single hadith. And he documented and spoke of the Prophet's Hajj from A to Z, beginning to end. Quite remarkable, amazing insight. So that's something you could read. There are many works. You probably got so many books. Okay, any kind of book will be beneficial. If you wanted some really amazing insight, you could take with you translation of, Zad al-Ma'ad, the provisions of the hereafter, I think, is the title they've given as a translation. There may be different translations, but in the section on Hajj, there's very good insight by Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, and other works that probably exist in English. So if we look quickly in terms of these ayat, you see, subhanAllah, the clearest thing, right? Speaking about tarbiyah, speaking about development, there's nothing like the base. Okay, how Hajj ingrains the usul al-iman, the articles of faith, and primarily out of the six, iman billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wa yawmil akhir qadar, these two, iman in Allah and iman in the last day. It's so evident. Iman in Allah in terms of the tawheed, and being away from shirk, and iman in the last day. So evident, subhanAllah, these two arkan in the Hajj, okay, and in the ayat, and in the application of Hajj, it's quite amazing. And these two articles of faith, they come together as well, many ayat and many ahadith, because they are quite huge. Belief in Allah and belief in the last day. So in terms of belief in Allah, there's so much when it comes to Tawheed. Obviously, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's the muwahhid. He's described in the Quran like no other prophet. In how frequently he's described as someone who never committed shirk. It's amazing phrasing. And Allah Jalla instructs him to build the Kaaba. Allah Jalla instructs him to rid it of shirk, to establish his tawheed, and so on and so on. So the whole journey of Hajj is a lesson of tawheed of Allah. It's a lesson of La ilaha illallah. And there's nothing like it, by the way, brothers and sisters. This is such a special journey. If you ever thought about a development program, any kind of development program, whether it's in the professional sphere, personal sphere, social, whatever, a development program someone designs and puts together to achieve some objectives, right? There's nothing that can come close to the design of the Hajj. Allahu Akbar. It combines you being in the best of places, doing the best of deeds in the best of times, with the best of returns and rewards. Nothing comes close. And in its ability to affect change. But you have to be open to that, you have to desire that, and you have to reflect. Reflecting on your journey and throughout your journey is critical. Don't devalue for yourself what's possible, right? By not having the necessary discipline to remain reflective and conscious about what you're doing and why you're there and what you're up to. So critical. The Prophet has told us, right, that whoever does the Hajj with no free of sin and free of immoral deeds and so on, he returns as if he's on the day that his mother gave birth to him. And the slate is clean. Slate is clean. So it's quite amazing. So there's so much, and there's so much to do with reminders of death, from the clothing the men wear to reminders of resurrection, from the gatherings, the being on the single plane, the day of gathering, the Qiyamah, the last day, Jannah, and Nar. There's so much. It's full. It's full. Replete with that. You have the issue of revering Allah's symbols, as I mentioned. Allah says in Surah Al-Hajj, ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَدِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. And whoever reveres the symbols of Allah, these rites, whether it's the activities or the places, then that is from the taqwa of the hearts. Allah says it is from the taqwa of the hearts. There's so much in it of ta'zeem of Allah, exalting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, it's such a special journey, really special journey. I'm speaking about it more and more now, getting excited, but at the same time, yeah, sad that I'm not going to be there. Allah give us tawfiq, grant you all safe travel and tawfiq. Yeah, I mean, I put some slides here, really. There's quite a lot of slides. I can share these, right? I prefer just to have a discussion, really. Ibrahim alayhi salam, if you look at, in the Quran, you look at what is his commanded to do with regard to Hajj, whether it's to proclaim it or to build the Kaaba, the du'as he makes about Mecca and so on, him being sent there and leaving his, Hajar there and his son and so on. There's so much to do with Ibrahim alayhi salam in Hajj. Okay, so there's a lot of slides I've got here. I'm feeling instead of just going into a robot mode, let's just pick a few different things. There's a tarbiyah of amazing characteristics and activities, and the biggest one is taqwa of Allah. Yeah, when Allah Jalla in Surah Al-Baqarah speaks about getting your provisions, everybody's trying to make sure they've got the things packed right. Okay, whether it's clothing or whatever you need, right? But Allah subhanahu says, while saying that, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. But then he reminds you, but the best provision is taqwa. The best provision you can take on your journey, not just this journey to Hajj, your journey to Him, is taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's so much about taqwa you can reflect on and think about in the Hajj. There's so much to do with other aspects as well. Right? If you're thinking about dua and dhikr, Allahu Akbar. Nothing like Hajj in its emphasis on dua and dhikr. And you've got ayat that speak about Allah says, for example, once you've done the main rites and then you're there in Minna for Ayyam Tashriq, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, in which the Prophet said these are the days of dhikr, days of being merry, dhikr, drinking and being merry, right? Allah says, because it was the custom of the Quraysh during that time, that they would boast about their fathers and their achievements. Allah says, remember him more so than how you remembered your aba, your ancestors. So dhikr of Allah is huge. Dua is huge. Even in Surah Al-Baqarah, you've got this dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. The dua you make between the Yemeni corn and the black stone. The Prophet said about Arafah, he said what? He said, خير الدعاء دعاء يوم عرفة. The best of du'as is the dua of Yom Arafah. وخير ما قلت أنا والنبيون من قبلي. And the best that I and the prophets before me have said is لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك والحمد على كل شيء قدير. Dua of Tawheed. Okay, so dua is key. Yeah, and the Prophet ﷺ, scholars mentioned that throughout your Hajj, and please, again, remember what the discussion I said about knowing the more important things. Okay, scholars mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ specifically paused in 6 places. And made dua. Right? Or pause here means to make a point of it. Right? Who knows what they are? Someone give me a few. Let's have some contribution. The tawaf, the sa'i, Safa and Marwa. The Prophet stopped, paused, faced the Qibla and made dua and dhikr at Safa, and he did it at Marwa. Also, Arafah, obviously, is the day of dhikr and tawbah and dua in Arafah. So what does this mean? This means don't waste all your energy trying to get to the mount, when that is not part of the sunnah. And the Prophet said all of Arafah is a place of standing, right? You've come all that way not to tire yourself to do a small excursion, like trying to get somewhere through thousands of people and in the heat, and you're losing your sapping your energy instead of just being somewhere and making dua and dhikr and turning to Allah. Yeah, understand the higher things. I don't mean by that don't go out. You know, my approach was, you know, obviously the time is between Dhuhr and Maghrib. Yeah, that's, you know, where the time of dhikr and dua is. So I would spend until, you know, good 2/3 of that, and then towards the latter part, I'd go out. Sun is set a bit more. I want some inspiration. I want to see the Muslims, but wherever they happen to be, just climb somewhere, look around, but quickly, and just remain making dua and dhikr. It's too precious. It's too precious. Yeah, the time is too precious. As some scholar said, that descends upon the hearts of the pilgrims, especially towards the latter part as the sun is setting, right? Such sakina, tranquility, barakah, blessings, huda, guidance, rahmah, mercy, that's indescribable. Yeah, you feel it, you can't describe it. Yeah? And it has to be so, because this is the day in which Allah descends in the daytime. Allahu Akbar. We know that Allah Jalla descends at the last third of the night. But on this day, Allah Jalla descends the daytime, boasting before his angels regarding his pilgrims. Right? So subhanAllah, these are huge things. So anyway, that's a place where the Prophet stopped and spent time making dua. In fact, the hadith says that the Prophet, you know, remained with his hands up throughout that time. He only dropped it once to pick up his reins because he was on his mount. And then also, and this is a key one, right? In Muzdalifah, when you're there and you wake up in the morning to pray Fajr, see everybody going around looking for pebbles after they prayed Fajr. Pebbles you can take from anywhere. Well, you can take them from my chapel. Doesn't matter, right? If you want, I'll send them to you, right? It's not a problem, yeah, for a discount, right? That time is one of the 6 times the Prophet specifically stopped, paused, and made dhikr, and it's mentioned in the Quran as well, which is what? After the Fajr, to remain making dhikr of Allah until just before the sunrise, the Prophet set off. So don't lose that. Understand the higher, yeah, realities and practices. So that's there. And then the other 2 places is the stoning on, not the 10th, which is you just stone the major jamra, but the 11th, 12th, and 13th, stoning the minor and the middle one. After stoning the small one, he'd go to the side, face Makkah, make a lengthy dua. Then move on and stone the middle one, go to the side, face Makkah, make dua. And then after the major one, which is closest to Makkah, he wouldn't make dua after that. 6 places that are key. So dua is key. Dhikr is key. Yeah. In fact, the Prophet said in one hadith said, you know, the tawaf and the sa'i and the throwing of the pebbles was only legislated لِإِقَامَةِ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ, to establish the dhikr of Allah. This is when you're throwing that pebble, it's what's being manifested in your heart. Allahu Akbar, yeah, the ta'zeem of Allah Jalla. Yeah. Likewise, subhanallah, we've got here what? Repentance and forgiveness. Yeah. Throughout, and especially Arafah. Yeah. Person wants to seek forgiveness from Allah, have that state wiped clean. Yeah. And you know, subhanallah, just one reflection I decided to put it here for you, brothers, is that when you look at the sites, yeah, when you look at the areas, okay, something fascinating. You have all the way there on the left, you can see the slide, yeah? All the way there on the left, you have Al-Haram with the Kaaba there, right? And then you have the area of Mina, right? Then you have the area of Muzdalifah. And then you have over here Arafah, right? The Jamara are inside Mina, obviously, towards the border, yeah? And just after the main Jamra, which is the last one in order, then you cross over from Makkah into Makkah, really, right? But what's fascinating, yeah, that's Azizia, okay? Many people, you know, have a camp there. What's fascinating, just put some to get the idea of where the distance is. What's fascinating is that the Prophet said in the hadith, Al-Hajj Arafah. Yeah? He said, Hajj is nothing but Arafah. Obviously, it's more than that, but this style of expression is pointing out that it's such a critical pillar. And in fact, someone misses Arafah, then you can't make it up. Yeah, you lose the Hajj. Okay, you have to spend at least a moment. SubhanAllah, look at the rahmah of Allah. If you spent a second in Arafah in its time, you've caught Arafah. A second. Okay? Anyhow, what's fascinating is that all those areas on the left, where the Kaaba is obviously, with Jamarata, Aziziyah, Mina, Muzdalifah, all of it is in the sanctuary. It's in the Haram. Yeah? The sanctuary's got rulings, and the rewards are, the scholars mention that the whole of the sanctuary, the hadith of one activity or one prayer being 100,000 is not just at the mosque. All of that area. You could be in Muzdalifah, in Mina, you make a prayer, it's like 100,000 prayers. Right? Yet the Prophet said, Hajj Arafah. Arafah is not part of the sanctuary. Ajib. How comes? This great day, and it's not part of the sanctuary. And you look at Mina, subhanAllah, it is. Mina is your residence as a guest of Allah. It's your main residence. Allah hosts you there. You start there on the 8th, and then you move around, but you keep coming back to Mina. Right? And brothers and sisters, it's better to be where Allah prefers you to be when. Don't think, it's better to be by the Kaaba. No. This is Allah's design. So if you want the greatest reward, be where Allah would prefer you to be at the right time. And try and do all the days. Yeah? Do the 3 days of stoning, not 2 days. People think about making, stopping, doing less, how much. What's the point? You're going all the way for this. Well, in 3 months' time, you won't look back and say, I'm so glad I didn't bother to do the 3rd day of stoning. No one does that. But you most likely will look back and say, SubhanAllah, if only I'd done the 3rd day. This is Jannah. Prophet said, that the jaza of the Hajj that is mabrur, laysa lahu jaza al-Jannah. He has no reward other than Jannah. Why you want to cut yourself short? Anyhow, the scholar said that, look, from the hikmah of Allah Jalala, you're in Muzdalifah on the 8th, Mina on the 8th, you're preparing, and then Allah takes you out of His sanctuary. Yeah? Listen, He takes you out of His sanctuary on the 9th, full of sin, and He returns you back to His sanctuary cleansed. And from His rahmah, Allah didn't put effort on you. He said, just get them in. Go Muzdalifah only. Get them to the closest. As soon as they hit the sanctuary, let them rest. Spend the night. So He took you out in a state of sin, and He brings you back cleansed. And then part of that celebration is the 10th. You wake up in Muzdalifah on the 10th. This is Eid for everywhere else in the world. But the pilgrims have too much to do. They don't even pray the Eid prayer. You've got, if somebody can do it, there's obviously flexibility. If you can't, if you're aged, you need to look after people. Yeah, if you've got health issues. But otherwise, you'll be doing, the 5 huge acts. Yeah, maybe the sacrifice be done for you if you have that kind of Hajj. But you also will be, doing your hair. You'll be, also stoning the major Jamra on that day. You'll be going to Tawaf al-Ifada and Sa'i. Huge. Part of the shukr of Allah. Yeah. And then after that 10th, the Yama Tashriq in Mina. The days of eating, drinking, and dhikr of Allah. Prophet said. Yeah. Rejoicing in that. So subhanAllah, the Hajj is just, we can't really give it justice, really. The lessons involved, taslim of Allah, your reality and your salvation is in you submitting to Allah. That's what Islam means. Yeah, it's the word that comes first is not the idea of peace. Yeah, it's connected to that, salam. But Islam is al-istislam, it's submission. Yeah, this deen, this Hajj told you submission. One stone you kiss, another you throw. Go to Muzdalifah and just sleep. You're Abd of Allah, Abdul Ma'mur. Yeah, you are a slave who is only his task is to be commanded and do, fulfill the bidding of his master. And that is where your salvation is. So it's a lesson for your life, Hajj. Yeah, to put submission at the core of your life, not be led by your own hawa. Yeah, Allahu Akbar. So these kind of things need to be reflective on. The issue of the moderation we can speak about, but subhanAllah, from the way the rituals are and how the Prophet instructed things, the leniency he showed, and so on, it's too many. And on the day of the 10th, some people sacrifice first, others people stone first, others did this. Prophet would just say, If'alu wala haraj. Do and there's no issue. Do and there's no issue. That's what I'm trying to say to you, get that fiqh in perspective. Don't lose out on the major things. Okay. And, if we speak about, the community and brotherhood and so on, the issues about morals and what it teaches us of sabr and chastity. And so, I mean, there's just so much. Brotherhood, discipline, time management, the value of time. The amount you'll achieve in 6 days is mind-boggling. It's so intensive. And obviously the idea is not that a person can live like that throughout their life. There's peaks, but it just tells you what's possible. Yeah, and there's always scope for us to do more. All right, I'm conscious of time. Let's just move on to a discussion. Okay. Let's hear from yourselves, inshallah. Everybody's quiet. Maybe in deep thought, inshallah.
So I'll ask one then, Sheikh, just to get people started off. How would you recommend us prepare for the day of Arafat? What should we do? Is there any prerequisite that we should do, like list our du'as or anything that you could recommend that would be?
Yeah, some mention this. Okay. Obviously, Al-Mina on the 8th is a day where you're just resting, preparing, conserving energy. The prayers are prayed in their times but shortened. And Mina, different things the scholars say as to why the word Mina. One of them is from a tamanni, yeah, which means to hope. It's known as Yom Tarwiyah because of the custom is in those days they will be busy making sure they have enough water for the days to come. But however, reflecting, putting yourself in a good zone for the next day, and prepare and to get the best out of the next day starts on that day. Yeah, don't overeat. Right, just a few days. It's the wrong time to be. Mashallah, and all the Hajj guides or people they would like to, look after you. Don't necessarily be of the mindset that whatever I'm given, I have to eat it. Yeah, share food, have a little bit, have nutritional food, right? Because then it reduces also the amount you need to go to the bathroom and things like that. Obviously, stay hydrated. That's critical by sipping continuously and so on. But yeah, so dua is obviously key. Yeah, being familiar with the etiquettes of dua is huge. So if you can get a dua book that has etiquettes, like maybe Yasir Qadhi's book on dua, Weapon of the Believer, it's holistic enough. It's a standard book you'd find in the Arabic world, just combines every kind of etiquette, thinking about those things. That's key. But the biggest thing obviously is the sidq, yeah, the honesty with which a person connects their heart with Allah on that day. Yeah. And the authenticity of that and the yearning for Allah, yearning for his mercy and so on, right? That's between the believer and inshallah is there. Yeah. The rahmah of Allah on that day, we can only speak of it, we can't understand it. Abdullah ibn Barak, rahmatullah, and speak about the tabi'een here, great scholars. He came to Sufyan al-Thawri, rahmatullah alayhi, on that day. And Sufyan al-Thawri was on his knees making dua. And Abdullah said to him, Man aswa hadha al-jam. Yeah, he said to him, who is the worst person here on the plains of Arafah right now? Yeah, he wants to maybe ask a question that he wants to hear the description, and he fears that I hope, the way it's described, I'm not that person, and I don't want to be but the one who's exempt from the mercy of Allah and salvation on that day, because Allah says to his angels, bear witness, I have forgiven them. Yeah, I've forgiven them. So the answer is incredible. Yeah, it's incredible, really. That's the fiqh, fiqh of the scholars of all the righteous people, and it is the aqidah, right? To have. And he said, Aswa hadal jam, the worst person here right now is the one who thinks that Allah will not forgive everybody here. Yeah. Allahu Akbar. It's a tremendous, tremendous statement. So be connected to the raja of him, yeah, and know that, be optimistic about that, and be sincere in your dua and your istighfar and so on, yeah. And one good thing, brothers and sisters, try and rid yourselves of, ego. Try and rid yourselves of this idea that I will never forgive so and so for what they did to me. Yeah, work on that. It's not befitting, wallahi. Please remember, brothers and sisters, it's not befitting that you raise your hands to Allah and you ask Allah, oh Allah, forgive me. Look over what I did, my trespasses, my shortcomings, ignore them. And at the same time, you don't extend that to others. How do you think Allah looks at you? Yeah? And what do you think will be more beneficial for you? Yeah? And the deen is like this. Yeah? Irham man fil ard, yarhamka man fis sama. Yeah? Show mercy upon the one who is in the land, the one in the sky will show mercy to you. You get that. In other words, if you are asked to something from Allah, you're more likely to receive it if you extend that to others. Anyway, let's take some more, inshallah. I think Anas is there, he's got his hand up.
Yes, Sheikh. You were mentioning something, maybe I missed that, like from Mina, and then we go to Arafah, which is outside of the sanctuary. You were telling some hikmah behind it,
Yes.
which I might have missed. If you can briefly comment again.
It's a reflection. It's a reflection given by some scholars that the puzzle or the question is, how comes it's such one of the greatest days and yet it's outside the sanctuary. It's outside the sanctuary. You'd have thought that it would be inside the sanctuary, the greatest of days. And they mentioned this, that Allah Jalla takes you out in a state of sin, cleanses you, and brings you back to his sanctuary cleansed. Yeah. So this is one of the hikam or lectures they give.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Perfect.
There are a couple of questions on the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one, I would like to ask about du'as for things like health, barakah, iman. Would you recommend generic du'as or specific ones?
Combine. Don't make them clash. Combine them. Make some generic, make some specific. Yeah, that's the sunnah. That's the way of the Prophet. Some are generic, some are specific. But specific needs to be not have any i'tida in it. Not some specific du'as like someone said, oh Allah, I'll ask you for the White House palace in Jannah on the right of Jannah as I come in. This is i'tida, yeah? Or you ask for something that's not allowed. But all khair, all good things. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. In here, the scholar said there's a formula. Yeah, you ask for the dunya, you ask for the akhirah, but two phrases are connected to the akhirah, one to the dunya. So try and make your du'as, weigh heavier on matters that are critical, yeah, to do with your faith, to do with things with iman, yeah. But there's no harm in making any du'a, yeah. Allah says, when my servants ask of me, I am close. Yeah, the scholars, some even the Sahaba and others said, listen to this. Yeah. They never were concerned whether Allah would answer them or not. For them, that was a given. They were concerned, does dua manifest on their tongue? Small things and big things. So make dua. Don't make them clash. All sorts, inshallah. And the dua has lots of etiquettes, like I said, from, physical, the makeup, behavior, all kinds of things, what you can say, facing the Qibla, raising your hands, so many. The biggest one is the sincerity of the heart. And so don't spend too much time, other than if it's a legislated dua you need to say. Don't spend too much time reciting things you don't know what you're saying. Okay, that would be my advice to you, right? If it's just you and it's just voluntary, let it come from the heart in any language. But if you're able to use Allah's names with that, go on a journey of being able to at least capture some names and use them. Yeah. And use his names. Yeah. Allah called himself Rabb, he didn't call himself Lord. Yeah. He called himself Rahman, he didn't call himself the most merciful. Yeah. وَلِلَهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوا بِهَا. In other words, if you said, "Oh Lord," nothing wrong in that. It's a good meaning. But you're not calling him by his names. Say Rabb instead. Okay, it's critical, yeah? Subtle but very important difference. Yeah, call him upon him with his names. Yes. What else? Any other questions?
Next question. Do we keep fasting during Hajj period?
So the fasting of those first 30 days, 8 days or so, okay, it depends on your strength. It's amazing if you can. Many of us used to, but we're used to, we know what to expect. We know how to pace ourselves. We know we know that practice. If it's not difficult for you, fast. The reward is tremendous. If it's going to get in the way of your focus on Hajj and having the strength to do the other ibadat, then you need to review that. Okay? You need to review that.
Is there a penalty for hair that falls whilst brushing? Are you allowed to brush your hair whilst in ihram?
Yeah, the penalty is the one who asked this question. Yeah, they should be penalized. Yeah. What do you think, Yanni, brother? This is what I'm saying to you. What do you think? Hold on, let me just stop this. What do you think? You brushing your hair and hair falls out. Allah's waiting to penalize you. Yeah. The idea of not taking care is this. This is what it looks like. I know it's not allowed. I grab it and I pull it. This is what you're not allowed to do. Does that look like that? Yeah. So, like I said, just, understand that and move on, inshallah. Move on. Yes. What else?
Next one. How can the rituals of Hajj deepen one's connection to Allah?
So we kind of highlighted a few things. Okay. You need to go look at the significance of the activities. Yeah. And spend some time thinking about that. Right. The problem is the difficulty just this short time, right? But I'm hoping you caught some of what I said. I know it's rushed. Yeah. But each activity, subhanAllah, the whole Hajj A to Z is a journey, not just a physical one, it's a spiritual one. Yeah. Your heart is traveling to Allah in this journey, right? And you'll be involved. You're going from, just as your body is going from one rite to another, your heart is going from one station to another. Yeah. It's got its own Hajj. Yeah. And it's visiting different manazil, different activities of the heart, right? So it's inseparable. And I think just, or maybe I mean, I don't know, if you just put down some keywords like Al-Hafidh ibn Rajab and just write Hajj, I'm sure there'll be some articles coming out. He looks at Al-Ghazali in the dimensions of Hajj. You'll find some discussions. Maybe we'll say others can share some resources, inshallah. The problem is I'm not too familiar currently with what's available in the English language. Yes.
Next question. Salam, could you please give the whole list? What we're exactly doing for complete Hajj? I'm doing this Hajj first time.
The whole list meaning the main days and what they comprise? Do you know what the question is actually saying?
Brother Naz, if you could come and ask the question. If you could unmute and ask the question or clarify.
Okay, let me say.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Sorry, what I meant was, obviously a lot of people, so for example, myself, when I was intending to complete Hajj, initially I was thinking about my elderly parents. Um, but obviously since then I've renewed my intention and I've said it's for myself first and foremost. I'm just wondering what I can, so for example, when you go to Mina on the 8th, what should be the main purpose that I should remind myself of why, why we're completing Hajj and what it should be, what it should mean to us as individuals, if you know, as believers. Um, so what kind of things should we be thinking about? What could help us?
Okay, so the first point, and I can see is a question coming here about anxiety, that's why I spoke about it. The first point, look, brothers and sisters, is don't be overwhelmed in this way. Allah didn't invite you and call you to make you lose out. Know that Allah desires khair for you more than you desire it yourself. Have no doubt in that. You can't have doubt in that. It's impossible. If you were to actually reflect and think about Allah Jalala and think what He has given you and He keeps giving you, and think of the hikmah of the sending of messengers and what He has prepared for His slaves and how He has made this dunya subservient for us and the guidance He has revealed for us and the khair He wants for us. And there's just too many texts. If we turn to Him, He turns quicker to us. If we walk to Him, He runs towards us. Yani, come on, there's just too many for us to think otherwise, right? And just know that you are falling into the traps of shaitan. Yani, a man came to Al-Hasan al-Basri, rahmatullah, a great tabi, Hasan al-Basri. He said to him, I commit sin and I ask forgiveness and then I return to it. And then I ask forgiveness, I return to it. And then he said, what's the point? So Al-Hasan al-Basri said, and this is the fiqh, this is the insight in each of. Al-Hasan said to him, shaitan only wishes you that for you to conclude like that. The moment you get to what's the point, he's won. Because it means you no longer are looking out for your welfare. Yeah. So don't be overwhelmed in this way. Have the anxiety that pushes you to action. Yeah. Take this as a formula. How to know anxiety that is beneficial against one that is not. An anxiety that is beneficial makes you active, makes you do. If it makes you regress, if it buckles your knees, if it incapacitates you, this is not what Allah wants from you. Yeah. There's always scope to be able to win before Allah. Always. Yeah, come on, the Prophet said, let's listen to this. Yeah? The Prophet said that Allah Jalla accepts the tawbah of his slave. Yeah? At to what point? Ma lam yughargir. Up until the point when the soul is here, about to leave. What more do you want than that? What more do you want than that? So don't overwhelm yourself, but take action. Learn something. Get a book, read, find out more. Be positive about that. That's why I said the wording is be more excited about it. Yeah, come on. You're doing a pillar of Islam, a rukun of his arkan of Islam that is legislated only once in your lifetime. So the idea that you know is to be viewed in such a way where it creates tremendous anxiety, which is debilitating rather. So it's not our deen. Yeah, not our deen. Okay. Have tawakkul in Allah, have good thoughts. Brothers and sisters, the greatest action, the greatest belief you can have, yeah, there's no exception to this, by the way. The greatest belief you can have is harboring good thoughts of your Lord. Right? And the very one thing that Allah Jalla detests is when his servant harbors bad thoughts of him. And having despair of any type is harboring bad thoughts of him. Because it means Allah is saying, how is it you believed of me like this? To the extent that you place yourself beyond his mercy. Allah doesn't like. Allah doesn't like. Yes, anything else?
A few more questions, Sheikh. So the next one, what should you remind yourself when looking to renew your intentions just before Hajj in Mina? Example, the 8th.
Allah Jalala, yeah. It starts from the niyyah. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. You get this talbiyah, read it, understand it. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak labbaik. Innal hamda wa ni'mata lak wal mulk la sharika lak. Understand the significance of those words, right? Understand that Allah says, وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. Yeah, Surah Al-Baqarah. وَأَتِمُّ and complete, perfect the Hajj and Umrah lillah, for Allah. That's why when the Prophet made the Hajj, as Jabir mentioned, he said, when he gave the talbiyah, he said, Allahumma hadi al-hajja la sum'a wa la riya fiha. Oh Allah, this Hajj I'm doing for you has no sum'a or riya in it. Yeah. I'm not doing it so that it is said, this is what sum'a is, so that it is said that I did Hajj. And I'm not doing it so that it's seen of me that I'm doing Hajj. It is for you. Yeah. So purify your intention, make it for him alone. Yeah. And the reward is secured there. The recognition needs to be desired from him and him alone. Yeah. Now,
Would
salam.
you like to ask a question?
Yes, please. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. I just want to, I'm from Canada and I'll be joining you in Jeddah. I had a question. When do I make my intention while I'm on the way? Like coming from here, Toronto to Dubai, and Dubai to Jeddah. So how long before I make my intention?
So you're speaking about the Umrah, okay? The Umrah of the Hajj, yeah?
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So we'll be actually in our group. We'll be making the Hajj intention or the Umrah intention first.
What's your itinerary? What are you, where are you going first? What are you doing?
I'm from Toronto. I'll be coming from Toronto to Jeddah. That's my flight.
Yep.
I mean, Toronto to Dubai rather, and then Dubai to Jeddah.
And then when you get to Jeddah, what day is that and where are you going?
That will be on the give me 1 second.
Then how many days before the 8th?
We'll be arriving on Jeddah on the 9th.
On the 9th of what? Of June, you mean?
9th of June, yeah.
Yeah. So what will you be doing? You're going Mecca, you're going Medina, what are you doing?
We're in our group, we were going to Mecca first.
You're going to Mecca first. So then therefore you when you leave Dubai,
Correct.
you need to be ready to adopt the state of Ihram before you land in Jeddah. Okay? The airline pilots should be able to tell you what kind of airlines is it?
Emirates.
Yeah, they'll be able to tell you when you're about to cross the miqat. So before crossing the miqat, make sure for you being a man, you are in the clothes of ihram, okay? So that when you have that intention there, intention is to have it. Yeah, the words are just an affirmation. You could say, Labbaik Allahumma umrah. Yeah, I'm here. But you'll essentially be crossing the miqat moments, a little while before you land. So you could do it half an hour before to be safe, or you can ask them to remind you. That's when you need. That's you enter in the state of ihram for umrah. Once you've done your umrah, you'll be free again, and you'll be in Makkah, and you'll wait until the 8th. On the 8th, adopt ihram again for Hajj from the hotel you're in before you set off for Mina.
Okay, so you got to make another intention when you are in the once you're done.
I'm assuming you're doing Hajj Tamattu, which is a separate ihram. Yeah, you are?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So you adopt the state of Ihram twice separately. Once for Umrah, and then on the 8th itself for Hajj.
Inshallah. Okay, Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I can go back to the questions. We've passed, it's 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes past 8. Sheikh, do you have any time or should I just call it?
There's no issue for me. No issue for me.
Okay, just a few more questions. Maybe we can just quickly go over them. The next question is, what are the best activities before Hajj to prepare and get the most out of the journey?
Equip yourself with knowledge. Yeah. There's a massive difference in terms of the returns for a person going to do Hajj who is poorly informed and only has, okay, is just waiting to ask others all the time. All right. If you have, I'm speaking here, obviously, if you have the means, you have the time to learn as much as you can. And by the way, I'm not saying you got to be in some massive academic study. Just do some reading. Yeah, it will help you so much. Yeah. Remember, brothers and sisters, we prepare for all sorts of things, and we get ourselves ready for all sorts of things related to our worldly pursuits. The idea is that we don't do more, or at least match, for something like Hajj. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Why put all this effort, spend all this money, all this hardship and difficulty, and we are ill-informed? Yeah. So be proactive about that. Don't just be in a reactive state where you're dependent on whoever you speak to and whoever you see. No, go, with some knowledge. Yeah, that'll help you so much. And you don't need to know everything all the time. If you have something to take with you, right? It's not like instance, yeah, if you don't get it right. You could be, in Arafah with your book. You can be in Muzdalifah with something. You can be in Mina with your materials and resources. It's not like I have to commit everything to memory, but be familiar with what's expected, be familiar with the key things, and then have the necessary resources to refer to. Yeah.
And I think that's the final question. Are we supposed to stay in Arafah until Maghrib time and then leave for Muzdalifah, or be in Muzdalifah for Maghrib?
No, so the believer, the pilgrim, combines the day and the night in Arafah. So that's why it's wajib to wait until the sun has set. So if you wait until the sun has set and you're still in Arafah, you've combined between the day and the night, even if it's just moments. And as soon as the sunset kicks in, then you set off for Muzdalifah and you'll pray Maghrib there. Most likely you'll get there late, so you'll pray Maghrib at Isha time. This is the Sunnah, okay? But all these things, these kind of things, remember, they are, sort of tweaked, adapted by the constraints of your itinerary, what's going on with your coaches, and so on and so on, right? So, but most people, no one should be setting off to go to Muzdalifah before the sun has set. Once you're in Arafah, it's wajib, it's an obligation to stay until the sun has set. And if there's no excuse and you left, some scholars mentioned that, there's a sacrifice that needs to be made as a penalty, right? But you need to combine the day and moments of the night. But the salah, don't worry, the salah will be in Muzdalifah when you get there. You pray Maghrib and Isha together.
Sister, you said you didn't get your answer to your first question. If you could ask that question again, that would be good.
Assalamu alaikum. Other sister actually start talking in the middle, so I couldn't actually come.
No problem.
Oh, okay. No problem, inshallah, sisters. Go ahead.
So I've been to Umrah twice,
Mhm.
and you know how we go tawaf first, then we do sa'i. So these are all kind of like a sequence. So I wanted to know exactly what is the sequence for actually the Hajj, because it's my first time.
So after you've done your Umrah, then the days of Hajj, the maximum days are 6, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. The 8th just really means you need to be in Mina. Yeah. Even if you didn't make it in the 8th, it doesn't affect your Hajj, but this is just if you want the complete Hajj, yeah, with as much reward as possible. And then on the morning of the 9th, when you wake up in Mina, you will then go to Arafah. Arafah, the timing for Arafah, actual Arafah of dua and so on, is after Dhuhr until Maghrib. And that timing is so important. What happened is the Salah gave way. The Asr Salah gave way. It was combined with Dhuhr. So as soon as Dhuhr comes in, you'll hear the khutbah, the main khutbah of that day. And then you pray Dhuhr and Asr yeah, shortened and combined, yeah, and then you've got all that time until Maghrib. Once Maghrib has set in, you'll be wait to go to Muzdalifah. When you get to Muzdalifah, you'll pay Maghrib and Isha, most likely during Isha time, and then there's no activity other than just to spend the night sleeping, right? When you wake up, you pray Fajr, you make your dhikr there, and then you set off back to your camps in Mina. This is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah now, Eid and Adha everywhere else in the world. And here, there's possibility of 5 actions to do, right? If you want to, and the ordering is not problematic, although some madhahib see it as problematic. Although, as I said to you, the Prophet, whenever he was questioned, he said, "If'alu wala haraj," and it's not a problem. But if you want to know how the Prophet did it, so obviously he sacrificed, and then he stoned, and then he shaved, and then he did tawaf, and then he did a sa'i, right? Not issues. Some people can't even achieve all of them. It's not a problem. The key thing, you do your stoning for the day, which is just the jamra, the big jamra. That should be done on that day. Yeah. Uh, Everything else can be delayed to the next day, the day after. Some scholars say there's no issue how long it's delayed, right? But you want to get that stoning done on that day. And other things. The sacrifice for many of you will be done for you on your behalf. Okay. And like I said, shaving or trimming on that day, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it on that day. But then it's the tawaf and the sa'i. Many people, go and do it. Others go the next day, the day after, to do the tawaf of Hajj and the sa'i of Hajj. And then after that, the 11th, 12th, 13th, after Dhuhr, which is different to the stoning on the 10th. Stoning 10th starts in the morning. But on the 11th, 12th, 13th, Ayyam Tashriq, the stoning only commences after Dhuhr. And you stone all 3, 7 each. So the first day is just 1, the Jamra Kubra, 7 pebbles. This one is 21 pebbles each day. 7 for the small, the middle, and 7 for the middle, 7 for large. You'll do that for the 11th. You do that for the 12th. 13th is an optional day. Better if you can, for the reasons I mentioned. And then that completes your Hajj. And the only thing that's left after that is an etiquette. Yeah, scholars differ. Is it part of Hajj or is it just an etiquette to do with Makkah? And that is the Tawaf al-Wida, which is the farewell Tawaf. Before you leave Makkah, you do Tawaf and then you leave. Okay, so I hope that's clear, inshallah.
Jazakallah, Sheikh.
وإياكم.
Jazakallah khair. Sheikh, I don't think there was any other question on chat.
I'm just looking now myself. Do you know what the connection was? Is there a dua I can recite to overcome this? Yeah, okay. There's lots of du'as. Take the du'a. Maybe Abu Hussein, is everyone on a group here? Same group, or we can.
It's you mean the group? I think it's a mix of other groups as well. So there are different packages. So in terms of logistics,
Just to send some information. I meant to send out information.
yes. I can send it out to everyone on
Okay,
the group.
I mean,
Yes.
I'll just recite it here. One dua you can read about this, about the anxiety and so on, is the dua in Sahih Bukhari, in which Anas bin Malik said that the Prophet would recite frequently. And it's also the dua in the Sunan, related by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. And it's related as a morning and evening dua. Yeah. Allahumma inni a'udhuka min al-hammi wal-hazan, wa min al-'azzi wal-kasal, wa min al-jubni wal-bukhl, wa min dal'i dayn wa qalabati ar-rijal. Prophet sought refuge in 8 things, and the first 2 are quite pertinent. Al-ham wal-hazan, you can translate it as anxiety and grief. Prophet will seek refuge in that. This is a morning and evening dua. So maybe you can send that out, yeah, to everybody. That would be good. And there are other ones, but this is a critical one, inshallah.
More questions come up.
Yeah.
Sheikh, so how do we shorten the prayer in Arafah or Muzdalifah? And the second question is, can Tawaf al-Ifada be combined with the farewell Tawaf?
So the prayer will be shortened. You pray 2 rak'ah dhuhr and 2 rak'ah asr. You'll have one. And obviously the salam in between them. You pray the dhuhr, pray 2 rakah. The taslim will be given, and then you get up and pray 2 rakah of asr. And in Muzdalifah, you'll pray Maghrib is 3. You don't shorten that, and you'll pray 2 rakah Isha. And you can pray witr. As for combining Tawaf al-Ifada with Faywad Tawaf, you can do so. Yeah, if you delay your Tawaf al-Ifada until the last day before you leave, it can be combined. Obviously, there are we didn't speak about ihram, but I thought anyway you're going to get some discussions on the fiqh of Hajj anyway. I know I'm answering some questions on the fiqh, but I'm sure this will be covered for you. Your ihram, how do you remove the restrictions of ihram and wear a normal clothing again? It is connected to achieving a number of those rights, which can be done from 10th onwards. Okay, if you don't do tawaf until you leave, then you will be still subject to a particular restriction. Okay, some can be lifted depending on what you achieve, but I'm sure that those who will give you that fiqh, I don't want to overwhelm and confuse right now, will explain that to you, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Can I ask a question?
Bismillah.
It is regarding the intention of Umrah or intention of Hajj. Just my confusion is I'm like worried about my intention. Am I doing it to like tick box my performing Hajj in like lifetime once, or I feel like I had injection before this, like I need to do it because I have to do it, and now I fear that my intention is not right. But I don't know how to I purify my intention.
So I didn't catch exactly the issue. You need to repeat it for me. Apologies.
Basically, I want to purify my intention. My intention previously, I thought I'm thinking my intention was to like tick box that I have to like perform the Hajj.
And
So
now
I'm doing, but I don't want to do it for this reason. So
this question and this thinking is purifying it, yes or no?
yeah, but yeah, so I just I'm not worried that my intention was wrong. I don't want to be like that way.
Worry doesn't leave the believer. Yeah.
Okay.
To fear whether or not you're sincere or not is a healthy thing. Imagine if I said to you, you know what, I'm sincere, guy. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, right? So questioning your sincerity is a healthy sign, but remember the limits. Not questioning it to an extent that it hampers you, it stops you. Yeah, remember,
Okay.
it's just a dose. Yeah, no believer will ever feel, oh, you know what, I got it right. Oh, you know what, I'm so sincere. It's not a sign of iman, not a sign of taqwa.
Okay.
But Allah Jalla doesn't burden us in such a way where we can't achieve what He's asked us to do. Right?
Okay.
So,
Thank you for that.
questioning it and you reviewing it is a healthy sign. Okay?
Jazakallah khairan.